I know I talked about it when the original announcement happened, but right now Konami seemingly has canceled special editions. There's no special edition for Eternity Code, and on the horizon here, if you look on the Yu-Gi-Oh website, you don't see any upcoming special editions either. Now, a lot of people, when they saw this, said, well, this is like the first time that Yu-Gi-Oh has ever gotten rid of this product. That's not entirely true, and in today's video, I'm going to finally open a product that I've been looking for pretty much every single time I have traveled to an event, and I only just now got one, and that was from the Alter Reality Games spring sale that they were doing, and that is the Deluxe Edition. So you might have not seen one of these before because they only happened for like a very short period of time. Judgment of the Light was the very first one of these back in September of 2013, and then Shadow Specters actually went back to the regular special editions just for that one time, and then we had this one, and then we had the Primal Origin one, and then Duelist Alliance was the last of the Deluxe Editions. In today's video, I want to go over what the Deluxe Edition was and open this one and see if we can pull any cool cards. Legacy of the Valiant is one of my favorite sets of all time. I love the two iconic cards from this set, number 101 as well as Exciton Knight, but also I want to show you some cool dice that I got in the mail from Imperium Duelist. So I first saw these dice, I think Team APS posted about them, and they are really cool. Basically, they all just have iconic Yu-Gi-Oh cards on them. So this one has Pot of Greed, as you can see that, and you can buy these individually. You can buy them in like these sets if you want. You can buy all of them if you want. You can do whatever you choose, I suppose. But I really like a lot of these. The ones that I liked the most were the Solemn Judgment one and then the Pot of Greed one that I just showed you. Doesn't know right there as Solemn Judgment does. These are pretty cool. I am not paid to promote these. However, if you use promo code Dzeeff10, I believe it's in all lowercase, you will get 10% off your order, and I'll get a little bit of a kickback from that order as well. So make sure to go check out Imperium Duelist and buy these dice as well as some of the other products that they have. And that promo code, I believe, works on all of the products, not just these dice. Once again, make sure to use promo code Dzeeff10 at your checkout to get 10% off your order. Back to the Deluxe Edition though, let's take a look at what it has inside. Oh, I also should mention these are basically the Yu-Gi-Oh version of the Elite Trainer boxes in Pokemon, if you've ever seen those. I remember buying those a lot when I was playing Pokemon back in 2015, and I believe even to this day they're still releasing them, so they're really popular products. This is kind of like the Yu-Gi-Oh version of those, if you ever heard of those. So it has 9 packs of Legacy of the Valiant, of course, and then it has 1 of 2 foil preview cards from the upcoming Primal Origin booster, which is very similar to how our most recent special editions worked. They always had preview cards from the upcoming set. 2 foil versions of common and or rare cards from Legacy of the Valiant, which is also very similar to our most recent special editions, and 1 pack of promo sleeves, which are really bad quality, but they look pretty cool, and 1 beginner's guide. So like I said, this is a very older product. It was like they had 1 in 2013 and 3 of them in 2014, and then they never ever continued it. And one of the things that I want to mention here is I actually really like the box. This is actually a sleeve on the outside, but the box inside has a pretty cool design. And even to this day, you know, I don't know the last time when I opened one of these on camera. It probably was like Duelist Alliance. I remember like opening those in a parking lot in a really old video. But anyway, I have a lot of these boxes sitting around, and I still use these. This one's Evil Storm. I actually don't have this one yet. So they're pretty cool boxes. They're pretty high quality, and you can fit a lot of cards in them. And man, I don't know, they just don't make these anymore. They're cardboard boxes, of course. You know, they're not like tins, but they're still pretty cool. They're a little bit interesting though, just because they were more expensive than your regular special edition would be, because they come in 9 packs instead of 3, as well as some extra promos, as well as a bigger box, as well as some sleeves that you can maybe use on your extra deck or whatever. These actually used to be like pretty popular sleeves for extra decks. You wouldn't ever use them on your main deck. They're like paper thin, but they're still pretty cool looking, I suppose. But these things were pretty exciting. I don't know. I always enjoyed opening 1 Deluxe Edition more than I enjoyed opening 3 special editions, just because you got a lot more in the box, and it was a pretty cool deal. Anyway, let's take a look at the promo cards that we pulled here. So we have Sylvan Peacekeeper, Ghostrick Jack Frost, very nice card, and Sylvan Cherub Sprout. I believe that this was the preview card. These two I think were from older sets, but yeah, this is I think the preview card. I guess we can take a look at the actual side of the box here. Yep, this is the preview card, and we pulled 2 foil versions of a common and a rare cards from Legacy of the Valiant. I believe Jack Frost is a common. I think Peacekeeper is a rare, which is kind of interesting. Normally in the most recent special editions, the rarity upgrades are all for commons, which is pretty cool as well, but this gives you a rare too. So those are the promo cards there. Still, I mean, not like the greatest cards. These two cards would be very good for Sylvan decks, which got really good with Primal Origin, and then Ghost or Jack Frost wasn't that good back in the day, but actually did see some play in different formats over Yu-Gi-Oh! History. It was actually really good in 2017 in Going Second Spirals. Ryan Levine, I think he won that YCS with Ghost of Jack Frost, but there was other people on their team that were running this card as well. It was pretty good against Spiral Sleeper, just because it could flip a face down without targeting. Alright, so for the packs here, hopefully we can pull some cool cards. These are, let me see here, yeah, they are unlimited packs, but still pretty cool set. Definitely a set that had a lot of really powerful cards in it, so we'll take a look. Purge Ray, Ghostrick Yeti. We got one of the Mystical Beasts of the Forest. This is one of the Baby Raccoon support cards. And Hidden Temples of Necrovalley. I believe, if I remember correctly, that the other variant of the Deluxe Edition box was Gravekeeper themed, which I think is one that I already have. And then no holo in this pack. Once again, I always have to mention it, but these older packs do not have guaranteed holographic cards. Ghostrick Skeleton, Exceeds Shift, and Overlay Booster. Man, Ghostrick Skeleton, what a card. I always like this card's artwork. Ghostricks are a funny strategy, but they actually did see some competitive success, not so much as a deck, but as an engine. You'd play Jack Frost a little bit, you'd play Ghostrick Mary, most importantly, and Jiangxi, as well as a Spectre, and you'd play that in certain decks like Madolches or Spirits or whatever. Swordsman from a Distant Land. Wow, what a fantastic card. If this card attacked an opponent's monster after damage calculation, destroy that monster during the 5th end phase after the attack. Yeah, this was like an OSG import from a long time ago. Obviously not very good. Got a Sylvan monster. I believe this one was pretty good in Duel Links. Not so good in the TCG though. Photon Charge Man, Gorgonic Golem. We have a Chaos number here with a bunch of text and 4,000 attack. And oh hey, I was just talking about this card. Yeah, Ghostrick Mary is a very good Ghostrick monster. Arguably one of the best Ghostrick monsters. Obviously it's good in like a pure Ghostrick deck, but this is a card that made you able to actually splash Ghostricks into a lot of different strategies. So that's actually one of the better pulls in terms of how competitive it was that we could get from this set. Serene Orca, Photon Charge Man, and Luminous Dragon Ritual. Yeah, that's pretty cool. This isn't the first Ghostrick set. You had Shadow Specters, which introduced the archetype and has a lot of the other ones that you're probably familiar with, including most of the ones that I've mentioned, but Ghostrick Mary was what really put it over the edge for a lot of players. We have another Ghostrick monster, lots of Ghostricks in set, Gorgonic Guardian. This thing is basically a double giant hand that also reduces the monster to 0 attack. Such a cool card, but never really saw that much competitive play. Sylvan Peacekeeper, there we go. We pulled the promo version and the actual version that's in the packs. That's pretty funny. We'll put that up there. Oh man. Oh, Giant Alpaca. There it is. Overlay Booster, Starship Spy Plane, and Bujinji Swallow. So we haven't pulled any holo cards besides the Ghostrick Mary, but hopefully we can pull maybe 1 or 2 more would be pretty nice. I don't think we'll pull anything super crazy, but keep in mind, we could technically pull an Ultimate Rare, which would be really cool. Exceeds Override, Overlay Sentinel, Gorgonic Guardian again, Purge Ray, an Oath of Companionship, okay, and Mighty Warrior. What a ironic name, because it's not that good of a card, but still a Mighty Warrior. Swordsman from a Distant Land, Overlay Sentinel again, and Gravekeeper's Amp. Did we just pull it? I feel like, didn't we just do that the last pack too, where we pulled 2 of the same card? Didn't this one have like 2 Charge Man? Maybe not. I guess not. I don't know. That's kind of weird though, pulling 2 of the same card out of the same pack. I mean, I guess it's there's a chance of it. It's not super likely, but I guess there's a chance. Alright, next pack here. Nice. We have the Interplanetary Purpley Thorny Beast instead of Dragon. I think this came out after Dragon. We have Snapdragon. I remember you trying to put that card in a lot of decks. Never worked out. Gorgonic Golem, Exceeds Override, Bujinji Peacock, and Dark Artist. Man, these old OSG imports are really funny. I mean, these cards obviously are not very good, like in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, but they were just not very good ever. So we had Dark Artist, we have the Swordsman from a Distant Land or whatever. So they're just really old cards that were stuck in the OCG, and we never got them in the TCG until this year, 2014, when these packs came out. But by the time they came out, and even when they were first released, they were not considered very useful cards. Dark Artist is a card that's like, it would actually, it's worse being an effect monster because it loses defense if it's being attacked by a light monster. So actually it would be better off if it was a normal monster, which is not a very likely case, besides cards like Chainsaw Insect or whatever. Alright, Overlay Sentinel, Serene Orca, Purge Ray, Mighty Warrior, Onomatopoeia, which actually has seen a lot of competitive success in Lunalights as well as Adamantipator pretty recently. And then we have an upside down super rare, Bujinji Hair, very important Bujin card. If you guys have played Bujins in the past, it actually was a pretty big competitive deck. Well, I don't know if it was like a top strategy, but it definitely was a deck that was topping back in 2014, and that was one of the cards that made it pretty darn good. Made that Yamato a lot more difficult to deal with than you might initially expect. That was a Protect the Castle deck, which we didn't really see a lot of in recent years, but those kind of decks where you just had like one big monster that you're trying to protect actually were pretty popular for a long time with Bujins, but other decks as well. Okay, we got Sylvan Komashrumo. Nice, that's a pretty good Sylvan monster. Nice, we actually pulled an ultra rare Gravekeeper's Nobleman. This actually was pretty hyped. I remember back in the day thinking that Gravekeepers were going to be like the best deck after Legacy of the Valiant. Obviously, my metagame analysis was not very accurate, but yeah, the Gravekeeper support cards in this set were pretty darn good. We got Nobleman here, which is really good, but also the Hidden Temples of the Necro Valley is basically, oh, we got Jack Frost too, that's pretty funny. So we pulled both of the promo cards that we actually had out of the set, but yeah, the Gravekeeper support cards seemed really good at the time, and I really thought that they were like the best deck. I think that you can go back and find the first regionals that I was playing under Legacy of the Valiant being released. I had a lot of anti-Gravekeeper stuff in my side deck. Anyway, Photon Chargeman, Ghostrick Yeti, Standoff, and we got, sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit. We got, what the heck, Rank Down Magic, Numerian Fall. Okay, if you want to rank down for some reason, the rank up magic cards have had a hard enough time being competitively viable. Besides a very small amount of them, you have Astro Force, which is good, and you have Argent Chaos Force, which is banned. But other than that, you know, you haven't seen a lot of competitive ones, and I don't think a lot of people want to rank down their Xyz monsters. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Last pack here, can we pull any holographic card? That'd be pretty nice. Paladin of Photon Dragon. We pulled like at least 2 copies of the ritual spell for summoning this thing, so now we actually have the card itself. And then, oh my god, okay, cool. Not the best secret rare, but still a very cool pull here because it is a secret rare. The first Monarch, and you can kind of see Erebus in the background. Well, sort of. This looks like the... It's really hard to tell. It does, there's like almost no artwork here, but it does kind of look like the throne that Erebus sits on. No, that definitely is Erebus. Yeah, you can definitely tell. There's his hand, there's his head. So that's Erebus in the background there. And this is years before the Monarch Structure deck came out. Special summon this as an effect monster. Fiend type, dark level 6, attack 1000, defense 24. This card is also still a trap card. If summoned this way, you can discard 1 card and declare 1 attribute. This card becomes that attribute and can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a monster with the same attribute as its card. While this card is treated as a monster, you cannot special summon monsters except monsters with this card's attribute. The entire point of this card, which by the way, this card was never competitively viable, but the entire point of this card was to combo with the Mega Monarchs because you could use this as the tribute for it, and then because it's the same attribute as the Monarch that you're tributing for, hopefully if you discarded a card or whatever, it triggers their bonus abilities. Did that ever actually matter? Not really, but wow, we actually pulled a pretty insane amount of hollows. 9 packs, we pulled 1, 2, 3 hollows, which was really impressive. Pretty unlikely as well. If you think about every time we've opened special editions from this era, we've had plenty of cases where we pulled like 0 hollows out of 1 special edition, and this is kind of like 3 special editions combined. But yeah, that was the deluxe edition. I guess I can briefly, I mean, no one cares, but this is the beginner's guide that I was included with. So this is not an official rule book, but it is like just a guide for getting you started into Yu-Gi-Oh! I always thought this was like a weird inclusion because it's not like you can really build a deck from these cards. I can't really imagine like someone buying the deluxe edition and trying to just start Yu-Gi-Oh! Off with the deluxe edition. Seems like people just pick up like a starter deck or a structure deck or whatever. But will they ever bring deluxe editions back? I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but I would guess that probably not, just because they only did them 4 times and then never really did them ever again. They've done similar products, but generally speaking, I don't think we'll see an actual deluxe edition back in Yu-Gi-Oh! For a very, very long time, if ever. I'll see you guys later though. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Goodbye.